Hi everyone, my name is Akorede Adenike. You are highly welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time of you coming to my channel, please like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell for you to be notified each time I upload new video. If you are my old subscribers, I really appreciate you for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much. In this tutorial today, I would like to teach you how to cut and sew Iro and Buba, which is worn by Yoruba tribe in Nigeria. Buba is just like a loose blouse, while the Iro is wrapper. So let's get into it. I have 4 yards of fabric here, which is Ankara fabric, one of the African prints. So you can make use of 5 yards, 6 yards, depending on your size and how you want it. Ankara fabric is 45-46 inches. That is how it is. So if I want to cut, I'm cutting my wrapper first. If I want to cut my wrapper now, I'm going to fold into two towards the length. Here is the length of this Ankara and here is the width of it. Here is the width and here is the length. Hope you understand me. So if I want to fold my fabric now, I'm cutting my wrapper first, which is 0. So I'm going to fold into two like this. So I'm folding like this. This is the length of it. I'll just fold it into two like this, for it to be accurate at the end of the day, because I'm cutting 2 yards 8 inches, which is the smallest size of the Iro. If you are a medium size person, you can cut 2 yards 10 inches or 12 inches, depends on how wider you want it. If you are a plus size, you can cut 2 yards 12 inches to 16 inches. Please do not let it exceed 16 inches. Depends on how you want it. You can make it 2 yards 12 inches or 2 yards 14 inches or 2 yards 16 inches. So I'm folding like this now. I'm going to fold into two like this towards the length. As you can see, I'll let it align here towards the width here. Let it align very well to make your job accurate at the end of the day. I'm going to measure that 2 yards and 8 inches out now. Now I'm done cutting my Iro out, which is wrapper. This is 2 yards and 8 inches now, which is for small. So now I'm going to move on to the Buba, which is the loose blouse that I'm talking about. Here is it. I folded towards the length when I want to cut my Iro. So now I'm cutting towards the width now because of the length of my top. The length of my top is 25 inches. I'm going to add 1 inch for seam allowance to it. That is 26 inches. So, and the length of my Ankara is 45. If I divide it by 2, it will not be enough for what I'm cutting out. So I'm cutting 26 inches now. To know the amount of inches I'm folding for the body now, I'm going to use the biggest part of my body, which is hip, to fold it now. Your own can be bust and your own can be waist. Just make use of whatever part that is bigger. So I'm making use of my hip now. So I'm going to divide my hip into 4. My hip is 42 inches. I'm dividing it by 4. That will give me 10.5. I'm going to add 1 inch to it for ease, and I'm adding ½ inch for seam allowance. That makes it 1.5 plus 11.5. Plus 10.5. Quarter of my hip is 10.5 plus 1.5. That is 12 inches. So I'm going to fold 12 inches now. So that will make that fold into 4. So I'm cutting here now. Let me just cut it out before folding to make it easier for me. So here is the length of my top. So I'll just fold it like this to measure that 12 inches out. If you want your own to be fitted, you don't need to add any seam allowance to it, any ease allowance, or you can only add half inch to ease. If you want your own to be bigger than my own, you want it to be looser than my own here, you have to add 1.5 or 2 inches to it, but don't let it exceed 2 inches please. But I'm adding 1 inch to my own. So here is 12 inches now. Hope you understand how I fold this top. I first of all fold towards the width to measure out my length, and I folded just like this into 2 to measure out 1/4 of my hip plus the allowances. So I'm folding 12 inches and I'm going to cut it out now. Now here is my top, which is buba. As you can see, this is the length and this is the body of it. As you can see now, here's it. I let the right side face each other. Make sure you make sure you make all the markings on the wrong side to make your fabric neat please. So as for the neckline, I'm making use of 3.5 inches for the width of my neck and 4 inches for the depth of my neck. I'll just connect my neckline now. Note, if you are a medium-sized person, let your width be 4 inches and depth should be 4.5. If you are plus size, you can make it wider than that. It will be 4.5 inches here and 5 inches here. So I'm going to cut it out now. Here is my buba now, which is the top. I'm done with that too. Now let's move on to the sleeve. To know the amount of fabric I'm folding for my sleeve, I'm going to measure from the back, from the center back, from my center back, the bone that is there. I'll just measure from here. Hope you can see it till where I want it to reach. Hope you understand. And I already have 11.5 on this body. I used 10.5, which is the quarter of my hip, to cut it out, and I added 1 inch for ease to it. That makes it 11.5. So I'm going to deduct that 11.5 from that 22 inches. The remaining inches will be 9.5 inches. So the length of my sleeve now is 9.5 inches. I'm going to add half inch to join it to the body to it. That makes it 10 inches and 3 inches here for the hemming of the bottom of my sleeve. So I'm folding towards the width here now, because I'm cutting the two together, both sleeves. I'm cutting it together. So I'm going to check what I have here. I said I'm going to cut 9.5 plus half inch seam allowance here and 3 inches hemming allowance here. Now I have 10 inches plus 3 inches, that's 13 inches all together. So I'm cutting 13 inches for the length of my sleeve. And to know the amount of inches I'm cutting for the body of my sleeve, I'm going to make use of my round armhole. My round armhole is 18 inches divided by 2 will give me 9 inches. I'm going to add 1 inch to it for ease allowance. That makes it 10 inches, and I'm adding half inch which I'm going to use for my seam allowance for the side of my sleeve to it. That makes it 10.5. So I'm cutting out 10.5 for the body of my sleeve and 13 inches for the length of my sleeve. Hope you understand. So I'm folding the two together now to cut it out. So if you have any question pertaining to cutting and sewing, you can join me on my Facebook group, Details to Sewing, created by Akorede Adenike. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Akorede Adenike. Please make sure you show some love by liking and following my page on Facebook at Akorede Adenike Sewing Tutorial. Please, begging you for that, guys. That is what you can use to support me. So I'm cutting 13 inches for the length of my sleeve now. 13 inches, which is here now. going to measure it out. And 10.5 for the body of my sleeve. This is 13 inches from the bottom here. So let me check. 10.5. So I'm going to cut it out now. Now this is my two sleeves. Let me keep this one for my head here. So I'm going to notch here. That serves as the center of my sleeve, and I'm going to open the second side of it here now. Here's my sleeve. I'm folding 3 inches in. That is for hemming of the bottom of my sleeve. I'm going to fold it in and notch it for it not to give me problem while sewing, to make my job faster. So I'm going to notch it here. So here is two sleeves, as you can see. This is one sleeve and this is the second one. On my bubatu, which is my blouse, I'm going to notch the shoulder for me not to be stressing myself while sewing. So here is both sleeves and buba. Let's move on to the sewing now. This is my wrapper, as you can see. I'll just open it up to the right side. Here is the right side of my fabric, and this is the first edge, the second edge. So I'm going to hem both edges now. I'm making use of 1.5 for my hemming. I'm going to fold half like this, and I'm going to fold it like this. So as you can see, hope you can see it very well. I'm making use of 1.5. I'm folding half, and I'm going to fold it like this to make it 1.5. You know, this is 1 inch now. I first of all fold ½ inch before folding 1 inch to make it 1.5. I'm doing the same thing on the second side. If you want your own hero to be longer than this, you can measure 8 inches in length in in the remaining fabric and join it to the edge here. 8 inches in length and same width as the wrapper that you cut out. So as for my blouse, that is all for the hero, which is the wrapper. As for the blouse, here is it now. I'm going to open it up like this, but let me first of all explain the sleeve, because I'm sewing the sleeve first. Here is the right side of my sleeve. I'll just fold the bottom like this for me to hem the bottom. I'll just stitch on it like this and fold it again. After hemming the bottom, fold it again like this and stitch with ½ inch on the side here. I'm going to do the same thing on the second sleeve. Now I'm done hemming both sides of the hero, which is the wrapper. I'm done hemming it. So here is my sleeves. I've hemmed the bottom of my sleeve, as you can see. So I'll now go ahead and fold it like this. Let the right side face each other and stitch with ½ inch on the side here, which I've already done on this one. I'm going to use this one to explain on how to attach it to my blouse. So I'm turning it to the right side now. So I'm going to show you how to hem it, how to stitch it to my buba now. This is where I notched the other time, which is going to fall on the shoulder. It's my sleeve now. and here is where I notch on the shoulder. So I'm going to place it on each other. Let the notching align on each other. Let the right side of the body face the right side of the sleeve. As you can see, I'm going to pin it down till I reach where I stitch here, my sleeve side. Start stitching from the notching here till where I stitch here. I'm going to stop here and come to the other side, do the same thing. I'm going to pin it down till I reach where I join my sleeve, the side of the sleeve here too. So that's how I'm going to do the second part too, and I'll come and show you what's next when I finish with that. So on my neckline, lest I forget, I'm going to use matching bias tape for it, or better still, you can cut bias from the same fabric. So let me quickly go and do that. I'll show you what's next when I come back. Now I'm done joining my sleeves to the body. As you can see, here is the right side of my top. I'm going to turn it to the left side. After placing it very well on each other like this, so I'm going to measure from the bottom here. I'm going to measure 5 inches upward to create slits on both sides. 5 inches. So after that, I'll just go ahead and stitch from where I stopped stitching my sleeve on the body here. I'm going to make sure I tighten it very well. Stitch with 1/2 inch till I reach where I mark my 5 inches from the bottom of my top. So after that, I'll come and show you what's next. Now I'm done stitching both sides with 1/2 inch, as you can see. So I'm going to turn it to the right side now. Here's it, and here's the second side of it. I'm going to turn it to the right side for me to show you what's next. So I'll move ahead now and hem the bottom with 1 inch. I'm going to double fold it just like this and hem it. I'm doing the same thing on the second part of it. So after doing that, I'll come to my side where I left open. I'm going to double fold it a little bit like this for me to hem it to make it neat. I hope you understand. I'll just double fold it all around like this, come this way, and make sure I open it up like this very well when I get to my machine, and start from here, double fold and go like this, and I'm going to finish it up here. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side of it. Start from here and I'm going to finish it up here. Going to double fold and hem it all around. So when I finish with all that, I'm using, I said I'm using bias tape to hem my neckline. After that, I'll give it a good press and put it on for you to see the finishing look of it. Now this is the finishing look of it, guys. As you can see, it's not too tight and it's not too loose. If you find my tutorial helpful, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel to support my channel. If you have any question pertaining to cutting and sewing, you can join me on my Facebook group, Details to Sewing, created by Akorede Adenike. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Akorede Adenike. Please show some love by liking and following my page on Facebook at Akorede Adenike Sewing Tutorial. Till I see you in my next video, guys. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye bye.